Her father beat her mother for teaching her to read. Her mother-in-law called her barren and useless. At 13, Aisha was married off to a man who barely looked at her. But 20 years later, she'd make them all wish they'd never underestimated her. This is the story of a girl who turned hunger into hope and silence into a roar. If you've ever been disrespected, underestimated, or told your dreams were impossible, this story will light a fire in your soul. Hit that like button and subscribe, and let's dive into one of the most inspiring revenge stories you'll ever hear. Trust me, you won't want to miss how Aisha turned pain into power. Aisha's first memory wasn't of hunger, it was of silence. The kind that weighs heavier than an empty stomach. It was 1998 in Chak 47, a small village in Punjab, Pakistan, where the monsoon had failed, leaving the wheat fields cracked like the skin on her mother's hands. Aisha was 7, sitting cross-legged on the dirt floor of their one-room home, watching her mother, Rihanna, count the last grains of rice in a rusted biscuit tin. Rihanna's lips moved in silent prayer, her fingers trembling. That silence clung to Aisha, a reminder that survival was a battle fought in whispers. The village was a cluster of mud brick houses huddled around a mosque with a minaret that leaned like it was tired of hope. Aisha's father, Ghulam, was a sharecropper, his body bent from years of toiling for a landlord who owned everything: the land, the water, their dignity. Every evening, Ghulam came home smelling of dust and defeat, his hands cracked from a hoe that never reached water. He rarely spoke, but when he did, his words cut deep. Girls are like clay pots, useful but fragile. Keep them out of the sun, Aisha. Ghulam saw no value in Aisha's mind. School was a dream for boys with money, not girls like her. But Rihanna, her mother, had other plans. She'd learned to read from a cousin who worked as a maid in the city, and under the flicker of a kerosene lamp, she taught Aisha the alphabet on a slate with a piece of charcoal. Aisha traced each letter, her heart racing with possibility. It was their secret, their rebellion against a world that wanted them small. But secrets don't stay hidden. One night, Ghulam caught them. His face twisted with rage, his voice a growl. "You think you're better than me? Teaching her to read like some city girl." He grabbed a stick meant for the goats and struck Rihanna. Aisha, hiding under the charpoy, clenched her fists so hard her nails drew blood. She heard the thuds, her mother's muffled cries, and her own heart screaming, "Why can't I stop this?" The next morning, Rihanna's eye was swollen shut, but she knelt in the dirt and traced letters for Aisha anyway. That was the moment Aisha learned resilience wasn't loud, it was stubborn. By 12, the village had changed. The landlord's son, Bilal, returned from England with fancy ideas about drip irrigation. The fields turned green, and Bilal's smile made the girls giggle. He noticed Aisha one day as she brought lunch to her father, her bare feet calloused, her dupatta slipping off her head. He said her name like it was something precious. But Ghulam saw opportunity, not kindness. He decided Aisha's fate: marriage to Bilal's cousin, Kareem, a widower twice her age. At 13, Aisha stood under a neem tree in a red lehenga, the hem let out with mismatched fabric. The nikah was quick, the air thick with dust and expectation. That night, in a room that smelled of damp tobacco, Kareem treated her like furniture, indifferent, not cruel, but it was a cruelty all the same. Aisha lay awake, her borrowed gold bangles heavy on her wrists, thinking, is this all I am? A pot to be filled, a debt to be paid? Kareem's house was in a larger village with a paved road and a clinic. Aisha's life became a cycle: cook, clean, obey. Kareem's mother, Nasim, was the real antagonist. Her tongue was sharp as a sickle, her eyes cold as the water Aisha hauled from the well. When Aisha didn't conceive, Nasim's words were venom. "Barren girl, you're a curse on this house." She forced Aisha to drink bitter herb concoctions, the taste lingering like shame. Aisha's heart screamed, "I'm not broken," but her voice stayed silent. When Aisha finally gave birth to Fatima, her Mary John, her life, Nasim's disappointment was palpable. A girl, useless, but to Aisha, Fatima was everything. She sang her Punjabi lullabies about rivers and mango trees, even as her own dreams withered. She taught Fatima the alphabet in the dirt, just as Rihanna had taught her. When Fatima was 5, Aisha enrolled her in school, paying fees with money from selling embroidered handkerchiefs. Every rupee was a defiance of Nasim's scorn, of Ghulam's stick, of a world that said girls didn't matter. Tragedy struck when Karim died of a heart attack. Nasim blamed Aisha, saying her cooking killed him. You fed him poison with your useless hands. Aisha, now 23, was a widow with a child and no protection. Nasim wanted her remarried to a man with 3 wives already. Aisha's heart pounded as she thought, I won't let them cage me again. She packed a bag, took Fatima's hand, and boarded a bus to Lahore. The diesel fumes smelled like freedom. Lahore was overwhelming, chaos, color, life. Aisha worked as a maid in Gulberg, scrubbing floors for a family whose children spoke English. She enrolled Fatima in school and studied for her matriculation exams by night, her books balanced on her knees, her stomach growling from skipped meals. The other maids mocked her. Who do you think you are, reading like a memsahib? But Aisha heard Rehana's silence and pressed on. She passed with distinction, her heart swelling with a pride she hadn't felt since Fatima's first word. A scholarship from an NGO sent Aisha to a teacher training program. She learned words like pedagogy and empowerment, keys to doors she hadn't known existed. She graduated top of her class and took a job at a slum school with a leaking tin roof. The children came barefoot, their eyes hungry for more than food. Aisha taught them Urdu, math, and stories of women who changed the world. She visited parents, sipping chai on charpoys, convincing them that girls deserve dreams too. Fatima grew into a fierce young woman, dreaming of engineering. But then Rehana fell ill, cancer, the doctor said. Aisha sold her wedding bangles to pay for treatment, but Rehana died, her last words a whisper. Don't let them silence you, Mary Beatty. Aisha's grief was a stone, but her resolve was iron. She took a loan to send Fatima to engineering college, waving as the train to Islamabad disappeared, her heart aching with pride and loss. In 2022, Fatima graduated with a gold medal in engineering. Aisha sat in the audience, her shower kameez embroidered with her own hands, tears streaming as Fatima dedicated her degree to her mother and grandmother. To the women who taught me to dream when the world told them to be silent. The crowd roared, but Aisha's heart roared louder. This was her revenge, not a fist raised in anger, but a life built in defiance. Word reached Chuck 47. Nasim, now old and frail, heard of Aisha's success and Fatima's achievements. She sent a letter, her tone grudgingly respectful, asking to meet her granddaughter. Aisha didn't respond. Her silence was her answer, a mirror of Nasim's cruelty, turned back on her. Ghulam was long gone, but the village that once dismissed Aisha now celebrated her. Fatima's solar panels lit up Chuck 47, a testament to the girl they called useless. Aisha, now 50, runs an NGO for rural girls, her gray-streaked hair a badge of her battles. She turned hunger into hope, silence into a shout. Her revenge wasn't vengeance, it was transformation. She'd proven them wrong, not with words, but with a legacy that would outlive them all. Aisha's story isn't just about revenge, it's about justice. It's about taking the pain of being underestimated and turning it into power. Karma doesn't always need a fist. Sometimes, it's a quiet victory that echoes louder than any shout. What do you think Aisha's story teaches us about resilience? If Aisha's story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell us in the comments. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? Subscribe for more stories of triumph over injustice, and hit the bell so you never miss a tale of karma served just right. Until next time, keep dreaming big, and never let anyone silence you.